A lot of questions still left. Well, we have a statement from the Attorney General Ken Paxton's office calling it a illegal impeachment is what they called it. So the Attorney General tweeted, quote, "I am beyond grateful to have the support of millions of Texans who recognize that what we just witnessed is illegal, unethical, and profoundly unjust. I look forward to a quick resolution in the Texas Senate where I have full confidence the process will be fair and just," end quote. The AG's office also released a report from an outside law firm hired by the AG's office. The report says they found no violations of the law or agency procedure. And so right now we have KVUE's Natalie Haddad, who is at the Capitol. They're live. She's going to join us here in just a moment.
Hi, Darrenisha. Hi, Tony. Just want to show you this piece of paper right here. It is indicative of a historic day in the Texas House of Representatives. It shows that 121 lawmakers voted in favor of the impeachment of Attorney General Ken Paxton, and 23 lawmakers voted against it. Taking a quick look, it looks like all Democrats on the House floor voted in favor of the impeachment of Mr. Paxton. And of course, there's about 60, to my count, 60, which is about 71% of the caucus, the Republican caucus, who voted also in favor of the impeachment of Mr. Paxton. I just want to briefly tell you, we were able to talk to a committee member on the General Investigating Committee, Representative Ann Johnson of Houston, and I want to pull up this text message so I don't get it incorrect. She says that she is tired and that there is a significant level of gratitude to people who made a very hard vote today. She also said that today proves a duty to protect the Constitution and that voters today overcame political pressure. So really quite the day. And again, I think this word is going to be used often, a historic day in the Texas Capitol, Darrenisha and Tony.
A historic day indeed. As a matter of fact, this is now only the third time in Texas history in which the House has voted to do this. Natalie, thanks for staying with us. I know I asked you earlier about sort of the feelings, the emotion in the room, and I know this legislative session, you have been there every single day covering a number of very divisive issues that lawmakers have been taking up. But can you just describe the feeling inside the chamber today and how that compares to other high-profile and very controversial issues that the House has taken up this session?
Absolutely. I want to hone in on that word you used, divisive, when it comes to the issues that they have brought up in the House this legislative session. We've seen it all. We've seen protests, the gallery getting cleared, the Capitol getting cleared. But when it came to the issue of Attorney General Ken Paxton and his impeachment, I don't know that I would say that it was very divisive. Definitely tight-lipped. A lot of, we'll see, maybe lawmakers that were hesitant to talk to any reporters, including myself, about what decision they would be making today. But the murmurs this week, ever since the articles of impeachment were introduced, the lawmakers I spoke with said that from the beginning they believed that the votes were going to be there in the House to proceed with an impeachment. And those that maybe weren't so sure, members of the Texas Freedom Caucus, some Republicans here and there, tight-lipped, but some of them did make it clear how they would be voting today. And so I just want to be careful when I say this, but ahead of today's vote, certainly, I don't know that I would say it was as divisive as other issues that we've seen, such as school vouchers, teacher pay raises, even LGBTQ plus related bills that have come on the floor. I think we've seen much more argument there than we did for these articles of impeachment. And I want to make note, we've seen statements from former President Donald Trump and from Ted Cruz, and that didn't really seem to make a difference today. Again, we've seen about 70% of the Republican caucus on the floor vote in favor of this impeachment, Tony.
And as you mentioned, that is also my count as well, Natalie, just going down the list, 60 Republicans crossing the aisle and voting against Ken Paxton, who still, at least in November when he was reelected for a third term, still enjoyed a lot of GOP support across the state. To that end, I also just wanted to ask, we saw Ken Paxton yesterday call on his supporters to go to the House chamber today to make their voices heard. Can you just describe in the chamber itself the number of people who were there, the types of things they were wearing, the buttons saying, the buttons they were wearing, the shirts they were wearing? I saw some of that.
Sure. Yes, absolutely. I even saw one gentleman wearing a big orange wig, sort of a costume, just to make his presence known that he was there in support of Attorney General Ken Paxton. For the gallery was as full as I'd ever seen it today. And again, like you mentioned, I've been here every day of session, and there were only but a few seats empty in the House gallery today. Most of the people there were in very regular clothing, civilian clothing, but there were a couple of people in red t-shirts, white text that were very clearly in support of Attorney General Ken Paxton. And then you saw others who would applaud when lawmakers on the floor spoke against Ken Paxton today. And so you definitely had your supporters, you definitely had your non-supporters, but for the most part, I want to be very careful and not assume anything of anyone. Most of the people here just looked like very curious Texans to see just what was going to happen today, and they witnessed history, truly.
Great insight, Natalie. Thank you so much for reporting with us at the Capitol.